In the last part when Kuragi came to attack, then Kyrio killed him in a single from with Elzar's scythe. But during this Oyakun was killed. Now Ushio starts thinking that he is weak, because Oyakun died to protect him, but he could do nothing safer. Just then Tora appears in front of him, and says, "Luckily for me, you seem pretty easy to kill right now. You may have forgotten, but I'm going to eat you." Seeing this, Ushio starts using the beast spear and stops Tora from doing so. But Tora does not listen to him and he starts attacking continuously. However, today Ushio is not able to use beast spear as before, because of which Tora injures him very easily. Now this angers Ushio, so he goes to attack Tora. But this time Ushio seemed very weak, so Tora starts saying, "What is wrong? Are you really this weak?" On this Ushio says, "That's right, and that's why I lost, but I want to get stronger." He then attacks Tora, but his attack does nothing to him. Seeing this, Tora says, "You're not gonna be able to use the beast spear while you are like this." Hearing this, Ushio angrily punches Tora. Now Tora says, "There's no way you will taste good while you're this weak. I will come back when you're stronger." After this he leaves from here. On the other hand, Nigira and Shigure are worried, because the number of young priests in support of Kyrio is growing, because they have started feeling the beast spear is useless. On this Nigira says, "It was Oyakum's power that defeated Kuragi, but the reason it was made to look as Kiryo's work, it was to prevent doubt from spreading among the priests, who saw the beast spear fail against a minion of Hakumen." After this Nigira starts saying, "He was raised after all by that man, who was once a member of the Kuhame sect, so Kyrio also thinks spear is useless." But Nigira does not understand, what is Kyrio trying to accomplish by speaking of that man's wishes now? After which Shigure takes the responsibility of finding out about this matter. On the other hand, Ushio is at his home. Suddenly Kyrio and some priests use the spell on him, but Ushio could not understand why they were doing this. Then Kyrio starts saying, "We can make lots of these Elzar scythes and everyone can have one. But Nigira and some others would not listen to us, so in order to open their eyes, I have decided to destroy the spear." Ushio is shocked to hear about this, after which the group of priests starts saying, "Now we know the beast spear would not work against Hakumen's minions. This is the only way to make earned superiors accept a new way of fighting." After this Ushio starts using beast spear, but at the same time Kyrio uses red clothes, with the help of which beast spear was sealed a long time ago. Now because of this the beast spear gets sealed, and Kyrio takes it into his own hands very easily. After this he says, "I guess I win. I will be taking the beast spear, but don't worry. We will take the utmost care in destroying it." On hearing this, he tries to save beast spear, but they seal him and Kyrio leaves with the beast spear. On the other hand, Tora was going somewhere, and he was saying, "I should have just gobbled him up then. But I don't want to let him die so easily." But at the same time Nagare also comes here. On seeing him, Tora asks, "What are you doing here?" Then Nagare says, "Kyrio said something that seemed suspicious, so I want to warn him." Now because of these things Tora gets worried and starts going with him, because Tora was worrying about Ushio. On the other hand, Ushio was still imprisoned in the barrier, but at the same time Hinawa comes here and breaks the barrier with her power. She says, "Ushio, that you are really useless without the beast spear." After some time Tora and Nagare also come here, from where Tora gets Kiryo's smell, so he understands that this thing is to related to him. After this Tora also goes to save the beast spear along with Nagare. On the other hand, a group of young priests want to abandon the beast spear, and rely on the scythes. Because of this, the senior priest starts getting angry, because they have sworn to protect the beast spear, but no one was talking back. So Nigira understands that their doubt towards Ushio and the beast spear runs deep. Just then a priest comes here. He tells them Hinawa and Ushio have just arrived, but Kyrio and a group of priests have stolen the beast spear. Nigira gets worried on hearing about this. After this Ushio starts asking them, "Do you have any idea where it might be? Because that spear has saved my life, and the lives of others more times than I can count. Guryu and Jia may transform to make that spear, so I want to get the beast spear back." Then Nigira starts telling him, there was a high-ranking priest in the Kuhame sect named Anasa. He excelled in researching holy weapons, and left behind remarkable work in the field, because he believed, holy weapons can aid the beast spear, but over the time, he began walking down the wrong path. That's why he started feeling that he could make such a holy weapon, which will be more powerful than the beast spear, so he adopted the techniques of Western sorcery and he wanted to use magic. Because of this he became the object of criticism. But he wondered, how long are we going to revere a spear that may never find a wielder? We just need to make weapons and wielders ourselves. So Anasa was excommunicated. He exiled himself to the mountains, and reappeared before us 2 years ago. He brought with him a grade school boy, who had exceptional spiritual energy and a strange scythe. Now Ushio understands that was Kyrio. Nigira tells him, he was very powerful. The 4 teaching priests immediately made him a candidate to succeed the beast's spear, but it was a rash act born of our panic, and our view that only power truly mattered. After this, Nigira tells Ushio, this is all our fault. We must get the spear back. Now Ushio asks Nigira, where's Anasa hiding? Because that might be where Kyrio is. On the other hand, Nagare goes to a building with Tora, because this is where Kyrio was born and raised. So Nagare believes, this is probably where the spear is. Suddenly some creatures come forward to stop them. Then Nagare tells Tora, those things are synthetic organic creatures created by sorcery and chemistry. They have no parents, no life and no reason to exist. And they whisper, curse you humans, how we envy you, how jealous we are of you. All these things make Tora more angry. He attacks them and kills everyone in a moment. Seeing this, Nagare tells Tora, you sound a lot like a human yourself. After this, both of them start moving forward from here. Suddenly another powerful creature appears in front of them. Seeing this, Nagare uses his power and kills it very easily. After some time, Ushio also comes here with Hinawa, because they both also want to protect Beast Spear. But now going inside, Nagare is surprised, because many Elzar scythe were kept here. Seeing this, Tora says, did humans get stupider while I was asleep for 500 years? He then attacks and Elzar scythe is shattered. Then he says, these things are trash. Even if they brought 1,000,000 of them, they couldn't scratch me. So how can they defeat Hakumen with these? On this, Nagare says, but Kyrio's scythe was really powerful, because it sliced Kuragi in half. So what makes Kyrio's scythe special? Nagare then breaks a wall, where they see a dead body, which was actually Anasa. Here Hinawa and Ushio also come to the same place, where there was a place like a pediatric ward. So Ushio understands that Kyrio lived with his dad here. Just then Hinawa finds a diary, which belonged to Anasa, and it was written that on May 1st I failed again at creating the scythe, but I was finally able to grant my wish of successfully creating the ultimate artificial life form, the synthetic organic homunculus Kuin. I failed many times at Kuin, to create in order to protect the materia, but I still cannot create the one thing I need, and the one thing I truly want to make is the materia. But Ushio does not know, what the heck is this materia? It was further written in the diary. On September 5th, both the scythe and the materia still failed to take form. But on October 10th a woman appeared, and her name was Toako. It seemed she had studied Western sorcery. Then I felt my research beginning, and finally I was able to create my invincible holy weapon with the help of Toako. After that Anasa was overjoyed and thanked Toako. Then she told him, this is a method devised by the 12th century scholar, Bohm's Elzar. So Anasa called that scythe the Elzar scythe. But then in the blink of an eye, Toako began to create more Elzar scythes. When Anasa asked her why she helped him so, then Toako said, I fear the beast's spear alone cannot be enough to stop Hakumen, so it is better to have many powerful weapons. And if the people of the Kuhame sect fail to understand that, you must open their eyes. We will destroy the beast's spear for them, because there is a red cloth that can seal the beast's spear, so we will use that to seal the spear again. Then we will bury it in a concrete box filled with scorching lead and mercury. After that the beast's spear will be forced out of this world. Now Ushio and Hinawa start moving on from here. That's when Nagare and Tora also come here. Ushio is surprised to see them here. Suddenly a master appears in front of them. Hinawa is surprised to see it. Then Nagare explains, it's apparently the guardian of this room. And Kiryo's name was written on the wall. Suddenly the monster goes to attack them. Seeing this, Tora drives Ushio away from here, while Nagare and Hinawa begin to stop the monster attack. Now Hinawa asks Ushio to read Anasa's diary immediately, so that they can know about the secret of this room, because Hinawa believes the thing that Anasa wanted to create most the materia, is Kyrio. It was further written in the diary, a human born for the sole purpose of wielding holy weapons. That is the materia. Anasa performed many experiments in an attempt to create the materia, but had failed each time. But one day, Toako came to him with a surprising proposal. She stole a child and started to make that child into the materia. But as Anasa watched her creating the materia, he slowly became afraid. After some time they created the ultimate materia successfully, and there was Kyrio. But now Anasa was feeling that maybe he would lend his hand to something horrible, in his quest for power. On the other hand, Kyrio is ready to destroy the beast spear, and says, they will finally accept the Elzar scythe now. Here Nagare tells Ushio to head to the East Hall, and get the spear back, but Ushio does not want to leave them here. Then Hinawa says angrily, you can't do anything to this enemy. Apart from this, the feet of both of them were also became useless, so they could not hold the monster for long. Seeing this Ushio says, then I really should not leave. But Nagare says, the beast's spear comes first, so go and hurry. On the other hand, Kuin learns that Ushio and Tora are coming towards them, so he immediately goes to fight Tora. After some time Ushio and Tora also come in front of him. On seeing him, Ushio angrily goes to attack him, but Kuin injures him very easily, and says, that human cannot defeat Hakumen's minions, even with the beast's spear, yet he is so foolish that he dares to challenge me. Hearing this, Tora angrily attacks Kuin, but Kuin easily stops it, and says, you must truly be weak to possess such a worthless creature. He then attacks Tora, in which he gets badly injured. Seeing this, Ushio immediately rushes to save Tora, but Kuin injures him too. Still, Ushio doesn't give up and tries to save Tora. To this Tora says, I don't want to owe a debt to some human. Then Ushio says, you protected me from Hakumen many times, so that I want to protect you now. Just then Kuin starts saying, you have some nerve calling yourself the successor of the beast spear. After this he also goes to attack Ushio. But Tora stops its attack and says, my patience is long gone. Now Tora frees himself too. He asks Kuin, has Kyrio ever fought monsters on his own? After this he attacks Kuin, and says, then would he fight with monsters unarmed for saving his friends? To this Kuin says, Kyrio would never fight for such a reason. After which Tora says, then Ushio might actually be stronger. Now Tora starts beating Kuin badly. After this Tora stops Kuin, and tells Ushio, I will play with him for a while, so you go do what you need to do. After this Tora comes to a place, where Beast's spear was sealed, and Kyrio was waiting for him right here too. Just then a priest starts telling Ushio, with these scythes, we can all fight Hakumen. Suddenly Kyrio attacks Ushio and says, this is the end of the beast's spear. Right now a lady starts playing a musical instrument here. On seeing her Kyrio starts saying, Mama, I did what you asked. Ushio is surprised by this, because actually Kyrio doesn't have a mother, so he understands this lady is actually Toako. Just then Toako cuts off the red cloth and the beast's spear falls into the concrete box. Seeing this, Ushio immediately starts calling beast spear, but beast spear does not answer, after which Kyrio tells Ushio, the beast spear has just vanished from this world. Now a priest asks Kyrio, who is that lady? Then Kyrio says, she is my mom, and always been by my side. Even she told me how to destroy the beast spear. The priests are shocked to hear this, but now Shigure had also come here, and tells everyone, this was all part of Hakumen's plan. She tricked Anasa and she is the person, who created the Elzar scythes and Kyrio. Shigure then attacks Toako with a weapon, because of which Toako returns to her true form. That's how it reveals, it's actually Hakumen's minions. Now Kyrio gets depressed because of this, because he always thought that his mother loved him, but actually he is tricked by her this whole time. Then Toako tells Kyrio, it was all so you would destroy the beast spear, and actually I didn't do any of it for you. Kyrio becomes sad and tries to attack Toako, but Toako injures him easily. Now Ushio tries to call beast spear again, but Toako attacks him also and he falls on the concrete box. Now Ushio gets very worried, because the concrete box has cooled and hardened, and he starts thinking that I am really weak. Just then Shadow of Gurayu appear in front of him, and he starts asking, will you fight by my side? Will you try to defeat Hakumen? Even if it means your soul will be slowly ripped apart. Now Ushio was surprised at this time, and he agrees to Gurayu, because he doesn't want anyone else to die. After this Ushio starts calling beast spear. Just then Toako attacks with her tentacles, but Ushio still doesn't give up, because he wants to show Hakumen the severity of his actions, even if it costs him his life. After this Ushio calls beast spear, then it breaks the concrete box and comes to Ushio. Toako is surprised by this, because even the red cloth could not seal it. Ushio then attacks Toako with the beast spear, but she calls her monster, the one who captured Hinawa and Nagare. Now this worries Ushio, and Toako starts saying, let me kill you and I will spare the others. But Nagare and Hinawa decide to sacrifice themselves. Nagare tells Ushio that the word Amet is written on its forehead, which means truth in Latin, But if you take off the first E, it becomes meth, which means death. After this, Nagare and Hinawa start using self-destruct spell, because of which these two will die on their own. Seeing this, Ushio tells Toako, if you want to kill me then do it. But now Kuin starts worrying about Kyrio, so he goes to save Kyrio. After this, Toako attacks Ushio, but Ushio saves himself with the help of Beast Spear, and tries to delete E from the word Emet. Because of this, the monster is killed, while lives of Hinawa and Nagare are saved. At this time, Toako was badly injured. She requests Kyrio to save her life and says, I'm sorry for saying those cruel things earlier. I did not mean any of it. So please save me, otherwise your mama will be killed by all these scary people. Kyrio believes her words, because she thinks she was not tricking him. So he decides to save her and starts fighting with Ushio. Meanwhile, Toako tries to escape from here. But Shigure had put up a barrier here, because of which Toako could not run away from here. Now Ushio tells Kyrio, that woman is not your mom. Just then Toako starts using her power and goes to attack the group of priests. But now Kyrio also understood that Toako was not his mother, so he immediately attacks her and asks, you betrayed me again, didn't you? Now I will ask you one more time, mama. Saying you tricked me was a lie, right? Then Toako says, yes Kyrio. I love you. But Kyrio gets sad and says, you just lied again. After this, Toako dies. Now because of this, Kyrio gets angry and starts saying, you guys killed my mama. I need my mama. Just then Ushio slaps him and says angrily, don't you dare say it's over. A lot of people died. They are not coming back. But we're still alive, aren't we? You are way smarter and stronger than me. I am probably going to need a lot of strong friends to defeat Hakumen. After this, Kyrio leaves with Kuin, and Shigure tells Ushio, just like you, Kyrio will have to make his way through a cruel fate, and to do that he will need some time. Then Ushio says, Hakumen is probably really strong, but I do not want to lose. Now Ushio leave from here, after which Tora also joins him and the episode ends. Next part is coming very soon, so make sure to like, subscribe and set the notification to all. But if you have missed the previous part, then definitely watch the video of the left side.